guys, it's Haleycreates, and today I'm going to be telling you guys about how I shoot my flatlays. So basically, if you don't know what a flatlay is, a flatlay is pretty much a picture that has a lot of products and just really aesthetically looking objects kind of laid out in a really nice form. I'll put in like an example of a few flatlays in here. And if you do know about flatlays and you've been wanting to try to make your own, they're super fun and they're really easy and they're gonna make your feed look so adorable. So yeah, just keep on watching if you want to learn how I do mine. So the first thing to think about when you're gonna do a flatlay is the lighting around you. And sometimes I schedule my shooting time to happen when there's the best lighting. And lately, since it's becoming winter and fall, there hasn't really been any good time for lighting because the sun's kind of already set by the time I get home, so as you can see, it's like way darker than when I shoot in the summer. So that's pretty much like my only dilemma for lighting. But what I will do just to get a little bit of better lighting in the shot is I'll get a light reflector, which you can honestly just use like a white piece of like cardstock paper, something like that's white and like pretty good size to be able to like balance light. And I would aim your white piece of paper or your light reflector to where the light is bouncing off of it and bouncing onto your subject. And I'm not really like that great at like lighting and stuff. I haven't taken like college classes or anything in like photography. I've just generally picked this up from so much experience, just like shooting over and over and finding like what lighting looks the best. So for me, that's what I like to do, and I'll try to get as much white as I can in the picture, like around it. I'll try to just surround the whole thing with white so that it makes it look really nice. If you're using a DSLR, then there is this setting in Creative Auto that allows you to do brighter, which might help you in the time like this where it's kind of darker. But if you're using your phone, then you can just edit it in later and affect the brightness and stuff like that. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Just try to do the best that you can for where you are. Some people do use artificial light to get their flatlays, but unless you're shooting in a studio and you really know what you're doing with light, I would try to shoot in natural light the most that you can, because sometimes when you start using artificial light, it just starts to look a little glary and a little like cheaply done, I guess. And I don't know, sometimes it looks kind of bad because I've tried to use artificial light so many times. And if you miss the window for shooting, it's kind of just over. So that's kind of how I feel about it. I try to get the best lighting that I can, but if I miss it, then I kind of just have to wait till the next day. For my setup, usually what I do is I will clear out a big spot on my floor, or if your light is next to your bed or whatever, wherever your light is, I would clear off a big space, and I would try to use the floor because it's going to make it a lot easier to get on top of it to take the picture. But I clear off a big space on my floor, and I'll just make sure that nothing's around it so I don't have to move it while I'm trying to get the shot. And I will set down like a white blanket or a white piece of like wood that I have, something that's like really nice and white so that it'll give the background like a nice pop. And you can of course lay down like bright pink paper, like pastel colors. I use a marble slab, like I got a piece of wood that's like long and rectangular, and I covered it in the marble sheet paper just from like Target, and that works really good as a background. I love to use it because it makes it look like those cooking videos where they're like super cute background and you can do like top shots and stuff. It's really good for a lot of things, and I use that, and I'll usually set it down and I'll put like, sometimes I'll get some clothes like the edge of my jean jacket or like a mustard shirt or something, like whatever theme you're gonna go for, I would like pick out some clothes and I'll just put like the corner of it in the shot, or I'll like lay it down and use it as an actual background. And you can get really creative with whatever's in your house. You don't have to go out and buy like a background, and you can make it for such little money at like Dollar Tree and like Lowe's and stuff. So I would just mess around with what you can find. And don't worry about it too much. You can use creativity and make anything you want. So some other things for the setup is I usually like, when I see at a store like something's on sale, I'll usually look for like baskets, like maybe the rose gold wire basket that I have, or like a wooden bowl, something like really pretty that's gonna make your shot look like really nice. Sometimes if you go to TJ Maxx, they have so much stuff in like the cooking section, and it's like rose gold wire or like white marble, whatever you want. Like I'll just get stuff and collect it up, and then I'll use it in all of my shots, and it makes it look so cute. And it's just another thing to like make the shot a little more fancy and put in a little more structure with like a basket to like center in the shot. You know, it helps out a lot. Since people usually like to see a little bit of the human feel in pictures, I try to keep some sort of human aspect in it. It sounds kind of weird, but I try to like put my hands in it, or put like my feet, or you can just see like my leg or whatever, like when I'm taking the shot, and it'll give it more of a human feel, and like kind of, I don't know, just makes it a little more humanish, I guess, and not as much like flat with like just a bunch of stuff laid out on the floor. You can give it kind of dimension with your hands. Sometimes I'll get string lights and I'll string them like around my fingers and bring them up to the camera, and it makes it look really nice, and it just gives it like a pretty flowy vibe all the way throughout the picture. If you're gonna use your hand, then you can definitely mess around with like the focus. I forgot the word for it. You can mess around with the levels of like the focus, whether it's focusing on your hand and the background is blurry, or it's focusing on the stuff in the background and you can see like your hand with the lights, but it's like super blurry, and you get like that nice bokeh going up to the lens. You can definitely play around with like so many things, and it makes it look like so nice. So for the actual contents in the flat lay, this part is completely up to you. If you want to look at my Instagram, I have a lot of flat lays that I've made, and usually I just base it off of the seasons, because that's kind of how my Instagram is set up. You can clearly see that it goes from like fall to winter to summer or whatever. So I'll usually try to take like a theme, and I'll just look around my room like at decorations or whatever I have, and I'll stick to that theme. So usually I have some fall leaves laying around, and you can get them at like Dollar Tree or whatever, and I just try to get everything that's like orange, even if it doesn't have anything to do with fall. If it's orange, and it's gonna look great in the picture, and you would be surprised what you can find in your house that would make a picture look nice. Even some antique stuff. You can incorporate so much stuff, and if you go to Dollar Tree, they usually have decorations for that time of the year, and you can buy stuff for so cheap, like $1, and like get something really cute that's gonna add pizzazz to your picture. Also, cooking food is like a really easy way to do that. Like I'll include like a cup of coffee or like oatmeal or something, like something that'll give it like the food vibe, I guess. And food adds a lot to the picture, and it makes it look super cute, so definitely try to use what you have in your house. So it's all in how you lay it out, and you make it look like whatever looks good to you. I don't really pay attention to like the rules of things. Like in photography, they have like all these rules, and they have to sit in a certain place and like fit here on like the little grid on your camera and stuff. I don't even know about that stuff. For me, I just look at what looks best to me in my eye of the camera, and sometimes halfway through the shoot I'll like put something completely different in, change the whole style of the picture and completely change it, and it looks great. And then you have all these options because you took like 1,000 pictures if you're me, and it took an hour. And yeah, you'll just be left with a bunch of really pretty pictures, and you can choose from whatever you took. The next aspect of the shoot is angles, and for me, pretty much the only angle that I really use is centered on top, because for flat lays, that's why it's called like a flat lay, because like you're gonna be flat on top and you're gonna get that pretty like balanced even picture. Something that my teacher for photo actually taught me was that if you have the grid on your iPhone and you go to take a picture like flat like that, some little crosshairs, like a little X in the middle of the screen, will show up, and once they're centered on top of each other, then you know that you have a completely centered picture, and it looks really nice once you get it like perfectly balanced, and that'll give you such a good look. But also, if you don't get it balanced the first time and you're kind of done with your shoot, you can always go into ViscoCam, and they have the X and Y planes, and you can change like whether it looks like this or it like goes like that, like whatever X and Y factors you need to change, I guess. I don't know. Some people might ask how to get your hands and your feet in the picture. without making it look kind of weird. And for me, I usually like to put my feet in the picture and just stand over it and do it like that. But if you're sitting down, then you gotta kind of arch your back and put your feet in and then hold the camera up like that and take it. And it's kind of difficult, but you just get a feel for it naturally, and it takes a little bit of practice, but you'll get an ab workout with it too. So that's pretty much it as far as shooting. So after that, it's all about editing. And I would use ViscoCam. That's my favorite app for editing. I go straight to that, of course. And if you have actual software like Adobe or Apple software, that was my speaker. If you have like actual software, then of course use that. But if you're shooting on an iPhone or even a DSLR, you can go into ViscoCam, and they have the perfect like setup for shooting a picture. And it'll make it look really nice once you're done, and I totally trust them. But also, if you have Final Cut Pro, because like me, I invested in some video software because videos are my thing, I'm not as much like photography, then I still edit a bunch of my pictures in Final Cut Pro because they have all of the color grading. Like the color grading level in Final Cut Pro is like close to Lightroom. Like they have pretty much everything. So I just go in with that, and then of course you can add your filters and stuff that you use on your videos, and it makes it look so nice. Like I've edited some really good pictures on Final Cut Pro and they turned out really nice. So I would try that if you have some sort of like video software. You can always import photos and then save them, and it looks really nice. As far as the actual editing process goes, I would try to edit according to your theme. So if you want to get like a moody fall theme, then of course like edit it to where it looks moody in fall. So there's not really any like settings for you because every photo shoot's going to be different. I usually don't use the same settings unless you're trying to go for like a feed look, but mine is more based off the seasons, so it changes a lot. But of course just edit to where it looks good. I think everybody has their own creative style of editing, and whatever looks good to you is what you should go for, so just play around with it. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys like this video. I've been trying so hard to make videos, but none of them seem to be like working out. I think it's because it's like super dark in here, so I'm trying to edit some really good ones to try to put out. I don't want to put out like terrible ones because I don't feel bad. But yeah, I'm trying to make as many videos as I can and get them ready to send out. So hopefully I'll get some more videos out. And if you guys like this, then of course stay tuned, subscribe, follow me down below on my Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and WEHEARTIT. I hope you guys liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!